And this episode is offers that are dead by 2026 and what to do instead. So I'm going to be pissing a lot of people off with this. Courses are done for 2026. That is the fact. You cannot be doing a course unless you've got the biggest thing that people need, which is the perceived value of what you're giving. Right now, where we're going in with the world of AI, people are craving connection. People want to be a part of something. I'm going to go through the list of things right now on specifics of the types of offers that are doing and what to do instead. All right, we're back for another episode. Say it with your chest. And this episode is offers that are dead by 2026 and what to do instead. So I'm going to be pissing a lot of people off with this. And if you started building an offer without a plan or a foundation, this is definitely one for you. I'm hopefully saving you time, money, and energy. But of course, this is why strategy is most important. So I'm going to piss some people off, but I'm doing you a favor because you need to know the stats, the facts, the truth. And this is what's going to be a big thing when it comes to building an offer in the new year for 2026. But before we get into this, guys, I'm demanding that you subscribe to the YouTube channel for us to be able to have more impact in the world. This episode, the whole podcast in itself isn't just about, giving you guys all this information. It's really about being of service and bringing in the most amazing guest speakers, as well as the latest knowledge, strategies, and speaking skills so that you're showing up more confidently. So you're being a voice for the online space. You're being a voice for your ideal client, your audience. And this is really about making a difference in the world. So hit that button there and let's get into this episode. So if you're currently now doing 36-page module courses that has not only a intensive and complicated type of format, you're going to be left behind. Courses are done for 2026. That is the fact. You cannot be doing a course unless you've got the biggest thing that people need, which is the perceived value of what you're giving. Right now, where we're going in with the world of AI, people are craving connection. People want to be a part of something. And this is the thing. If you're building something and you just don't want anyone to have anything to do with you, and you're worried that the course is going to be enough to get your clients, then you need to know now that it's not the case. What is going to be doing really well when it comes to building an offer is people want to be a part of something where they get a part of you, where they're having connection and interaction with you. So the pages of 37 written courses that is just boring with no videos isn't going to be what is going to be working. I'm going to go through the list of things right now on specifics of the types of offers that are doing that are doing shit and what to do instead. So we've just spoken about courses. Now, again, I've had clients come to me and they want to start a course and I've told them, don't do a course, do a mentorship. Or if you're going to do a course, do this instead. One of my beautiful clients, and she's really killing it right now, her name's Nikki Ford, she's building something that has such a beautiful journey in the course where there is outcomes and phases and resources and worksheets, but there's videos, there is touch points with her. There's also an opportunity to upsell into having, sessions with her and doing an experience with her in person. I know that a lot of us don't want to have, access to people, or even I deserve to be paid more, so that's why I'm creating something so low tier. That is all well and good, but you best want to start shifting to something that's like a subscription model where it's self-paced and there's tangible bite-sized learnings where it's good. This isn't just asking ChatGPT to create a course with you. This is where you need to implement your methods, your IPs. You've tested it, you've done it yourself, and this is why you're giving it to your audience. We had a really successful course we built, and it was called Queenstown University. And they had access to me at the beginning and at the end, but also they were able to have bite-sized, tangible videos to watch with implementation, with checklists, with a roadmap, and also a result per phase they were in. And I remember building it, I really just wanted to give more. And so coming into 2026, your offer has to be one worthy of being able to have someone go, wow, this is too good to be true. Which, yes, you need to do more. You need to have something that requires them to feel like, wow, I'm getting this and more. This is amazing. And that's where the world is now going, because it's so easy to create things now. So this is where we need to look at, what have you got built as a base, and how can you really start adding in layers and a connection point where they're actually getting the results, they're actually able to see through the whole thing, and you've actually put effort and the foundations, and also, again, really making it something that's so incredible and juicy. So that's the first thing when it comes to what's not working. The other thing I don't believe is working right now is really the long masterminds that doesn't have anything that is in person. So if you do run masterminds, make sure that it has connection and in-person workshops. So our school right now, we have a incredible, school and our portal. It's evergreen. All our trainings are not, I'm going to watch a Zoom and oh my God, it's a Zoom with a million questions and people just asking questions. And it takes away from, they've invested in this school and they have to sit through people's questions and stuff like that. And it's like, oh my God, I just want to get to the learnings. So everything we teach is pre-recorded. Yes, we do live group coaching, but we always record our evergreen so people can have the bite-sized learnings, because no one's got time to listen to people's questions for an hour and a half. So make sure if you've got a mastermind, and coming back to the workshops, you're doing these phases or catch-ups or VIP experiences throughout that timeline that you're with them, which is exactly why our Empire School now is doing live workshops, content days, strategy days in person, as well as having that virtual experience and having that presence. The other thing that's not working is having group coaching spaces where they don't even have access to the person that's owning it. And I know this is about, making sure it's hard for you to be as available. But I think what's really important right now and why we're so different is group coaching is about building that connection and community. But then sometimes people just don't get around to their question. And because it's growing so big, you really need to add better layers of the format, the way you have breakout rooms, making sure people that are in different levels are in different group rooms, and I think that's why you really set the right foundations and roadmap for when they get to be a part of certain groups, when they're reaching certain milestones in their business. As an example, when people start, they always begin with me and they always end with me, and I'm always on our group coaching space. But we never get people starting with ads straight away unless it's something that they're already doing and isn't working. Which means, we really make sure that once they've hit consistent organic growth with leads coming in, conversions, that's proof that their business is working and it's generating cash flow, which means that's when they start to go into trainings with Jordan. But we've added now more support with Abby coming in. We've got a team. We've got, a really beautiful element to the school where we're fast tracking our students' results based on our AI, our bots, our checklists. And so you really need to have something so simple and streamlined that doesn't create overwhelm and stress, which brings me to the other thing when it comes to, building a group coaching space right now. And I know I'm one to create so much work for my students. And I say this, not so much work to make them work like they're at uni, but I love to give so much. And so naturally, when you're someone that's a high achieving, go-getter, type A personality, we love work, we love all the overwhelm, but not everyone is like us. So what's not working is creating so much workload at the beginning for people to not even see the end results. They go, fuck, if I'm doing all of this and I'm not even getting access to the main person I signed up for, then why am I even in this space? Here's what's really important: having the accountability, the support, the touch points, and a customer's experience seriously begins from the moment they say yes. So group coaching, if you're selling a school, how to make it so good is really about the experience that they get the minute they join, automating things, making things really easy to create, making things really easy to connect with their community, making sure that they're getting seen and answering questions, making sure that they're registering for the calls, they're ahead of time with what's coming up, they're able to see the structured trainings you've got coming up in your group coaching so they can plan and, make sure that they're learning all the beautiful things. It's not about giving too much. It's really about how to make it simplified so that everyone gets an opportunity to be in a space where they're growing, they're learning, and of course, getting access to you as well. My biggest thing when it comes to having support, because we're going down this route, we've had support coaches, is really making sure that the support is to assist you not to take away that they're still getting a part of you in the space. So we've got content strategists in our space now. That's giving them more learnings, but more so the understanding of creativity that is digestible, and it's doing one thing at a time. If you get a group coaching space and they feel like it's such a confusing, overwhelming, too much workload, they're going to feel like it's going to be too hard. So your group coaching needs to have phases, roadmaps. It needs to have support. It needs to have a team. You need to be part of your group coaching. You really need to be the authority. And of course, you really need to explain that there is set milestones, and we create, which is really cool, a lot of our incentives in group coaching, which really saves your way of building something in 2026. What isn't really working right now is, I believe, ebooks. Now, in terms of selling ebooks, they're great for lead magnets. They're great if you've got a really good presence online, and you can drop these off. They have to be quality, but also they need to be, something that is solving one problem, but also something that if you've got the right audience and proof, digital products are great, but it needs to be worthy of selling it, So I'm going to just kind of preempt that ebooks can work, but it's not something I would focus on for 2026. In fact, I would focus more on giving away ebooks and lead magnets for free to upsell into an offer. Which brings me to what I love, what's coming now for 2026. It's the in-person experience. It's the speaking journey. It's also making sure that you're doing workshops. You're building an online presence, but people need more connection in person. And so if you've got a school, a community, or if you've got, even a product, or you're a service-based business owner, coach as well, have something that they can do as a reward where they get to have, something to work towards. If you're running fitness businesses, having workshops or photo shoots are really powerful. Having seminars so that they're learning in, your boardroom tables. We love VIP days because we want people to have that experience that they're exclusive in our space. And that creates this beautiful element that they're important and you see that in them. It also allows you to really create, still like a really great middle tier business, but you also need to make sure that if you want more exclusivity with yourself, this is where VIP days and making your offer have the perceived value of what they're going to get out of the VIP days, and that they get to walk away with a specific result that's going to get them to want to be involved more, whether it's with your one-on-ones or things like that. And that's where I come into, what's going to be really powerful with your workshops, making sure that you have a really strong message where you're selling something that gives them that result. The one thing you want to teach at these workshops is the one thing you want to be known for. Myself, where we run a business school, where, yes, doing events and we're doing content workshops for our students, but the live events is really where the 2026 space is going. And one of the things my mentor says to me, his name's Brody Lee, is Jesus Christ was running events. The church run events. Tony Robbins has been doing events forever. It has been the number one thing that hasn't been outdated. And right now, it's if you're not on stage and if you're not running events, if you're not running workshops, you're losing money, you're losing trust. And that has to be part of your strategy for 2026. It's having that live event experience, being able to build that authority, as I've spoken with you guys before. But again, AI is growing. So we need to really be able to leverage how the world is going, which brings me to what we need to start doing as well with our business. It's how can we start simplifying, systemizing, automating, and using AI to get our clients better results and experiences that still allows them to have a connection with you. And I think that's where we're making such big decisions with AI. And again, we don't want to be like, we're all about AI. We're really all about the connection and you owning your voice and you leveraging that in-person connection, because people can feel when you're genuine. But if your offer is boring and generic, there's not much effort into it, but you think, oh, but I did it in Canva, or I had ChatGPT create this, you're being, again, that thing that I always say, you're being lazy. And we're not here for lazy business. We're not here to start 2026 with laziness. We're here to go into a exceptional process. We're here to be better than good. We're here to be excellent. And this is where I believe right now, you've got to have a business model. You've got to have that one core offer. For us, it's our Empire School, but you need to have more of that connection element to it. So just something to work on for you guys if you're thinking about this and I've kind of triggered someone or, made you feel a little bit, fuck, I've just wasted time. This is where, building the foundations and doing your market research is important. And, your offer needs to be a representation of you. And so you are also an offer, which means people want to buy into you. So if you can really create an experience and really have a promise to what you're delivering, you need to be really specific. You need to be really specific and you need to be really diligent with what you're doing. You need to have a beginning, middle, and an end, and for them to see a roadmap and a path to where they want to go. And, we really encourage anyone when it comes to learning this, this is what we're teaching our students next week. Once this goes live, you'll be like, shit, I missed it. You've got opportunity to be a part of our world because we help our students reposition your offer. So it's not to say you need to reinvent the wheel, but what we want to encourage you guys is, hey, if you've got something that you've built, but it's mediocre, it's boring, it's a course, it's an ebook, you've got a group coaching, but it's just, it's becoming really hard to keep on track or remember your students or, give this amazing experience, give those connections and touch points, come into our space, learn what we teach, learn our business model so you can start leveraging that. Because again, at the end of the day, you don't want to start 2026 with no idea of what you're doing, but you need to have a plan, you need to have strategy, and you need to be a part of someone's world to be able to leverage their experts, their knowledge to be able to then fast track in 2026, which is my invitation to you guys right now. Wrapping this up, just to keep this as a checklist, the offers that will keep going. Number 1, high stakes, multi-outcome groups, group coaching. Number 2, intimate experiences, VIP days, workshops in person. Wealth, performance, clear return of investment offers are doing incredibly well. That doesn't give you burnout. Personal brand led offers, which means you are still at the forefront with obviously the systems in place and doing speaking events. Last but not least, the moment I stopped selling 47 different things that had absolutely no clear strategy or outcome, and I honed in on my one promise and created transformation, that is when my bank account, my Stripe account was like, woo, we're filling this, baby girl. So this is your reminder, build an offer that is incredible, but make sure it's not something that's outdated and you start 2026 with a bang. My name is Tamara Meyer and this is Say It With Your Chest, and I will see you all next week. I remember the first time I spoke on stage. My heart was racing, palms sweaty, voice was shaking. I was terrified. Not because I didn't know what to say, but because deep down I was afraid of being seen. I was afraid of my own power. But here's the truth no one tells you. Speaking isn't about perfection. It's about connection. When you step onto stage, whether it's a room of 10 or 10,000 people aren't just listening to your word. They're feeling your energy. They're watching to see, does this person believe in what they're saying? Does this person believe in themselves? The power to command a room comes from owning your story, not performing a script. That's what amplifies your voice, and that's what creates impact. I spent years shrinking myself, dimming my light, thinking I had to sound like everyone else to be taken seriously. The moment I let go of the performance and I chose to lead with my truth, my voice changed, my business changed, my life changed, and that's what I want for you. Because when you learn to speak with authority, to lead with conviction, to show up as the fullest, boldest version of you, you don't just inform, you transform. Own your message and create the kind of presence that moves people into action, because your voice is your greatest asset. It's time to use it. So if you're ready to stop shrinking, if you're ready to step into the leader you were born to be, join me at Show Up and Speak Live. The mic is waiting, the world is waiting, and so am I.